And hello and welcome back to my channel, Nolan's Handmade Clickbaits. I'm Nolan. Here we make fishing lures, and I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I have a new after-school activity that takes up quite a bit of time, and today I'm going to be making a bluegill balsa bait, and let's get to it.
Okay, I am back, and I'm just going to be doing a simple balsa crankbait. And right off the bat, I'm going to apologize for not posting in so long. Not a good way to start the new year. Let's just say I have a new school activity that takes up a lot of my time, and I just haven't had too much time to make lures. And I was going to do something a lot nicer, but I just need to, at this point, I just need to get something on the channel. So I made this at some point, and I also made, get off of me, this. And so I liked them. This is the epoxy, and I wanted to do that here on YouTube. So I had these little cutoffs from these, so I just traced that, sharpied it, and now I'm going to use my standard carving technique. So let's do that. Okay, and at some point after carving, I noticed I made a boo-boo. I don't know if you can see that large chunk missing. I think I'll be able to work with that, because it's not, when you look at it this way, it's not all that much, and it might even just not exist after I round this off. But for now, I'm just going to sand it. And that's pretty standard. And I honestly think that pink might come out just for this. Okay, and instead of using my knife as I normally would, I am just going to use this file rasp thing. I'm going to see how that works. It'll save me a step of sanding, so. Just thinking. Okay, so I am not going to taper this. This is going to, where's my other one? Yeah, this one is actually quite a bit thinner, so, but it's also, you can see it's shorter, so I think this is going to be okay, but yeah, I'm not tapering it. I'm just circling it. I don't know what the right word is. I'm rounding it off. And there it is. Worked pretty well. So I actually realized I forgot to cut the lip slot, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, and I just cut out a lip on that. This is Lexan polycarbonate. I just cut it out with my coping saw, and this is coming along pretty fast. This is going to be a through wire, and that basically means I cut a slot coming all along here, and then I fit a wire into it with little loops that come out, and those are the line ties and hook hanging. It'll help it be a little stronger because balsa wood's pretty soft, and yeah, I'm gonna cut that slot now. And this needs to be pretty precise, so I'm gonna really try. I don't want to clamp this too hard because this wood is so soft and just smush it. Okay. And there's that slot. My voice just died, but there that is. And I'm going to be using some of this stuff. Okay. So now I have to get some of this and bend it around a bunch, so that'll take a while. And I don't have any good wire bending pliers. However, I do just have this. So this will work just fine. Okay. So, and I need a pretty good amount. I can probably up a little bit so you can see a little higher. I'm gonna try to straighten this. I'm going to fit this into here. And something like a toothpick may be helpful. I'm just going to use a little piece of wire, try to push that in there. There it is. Now it's time to start working on some of those bends. Harness. I'm just going to drop some super glue on that because I don't want it falling out or anything because that took a bit of work, so I'm going to do that right here, right now. And there, that ain't going nowhere. Now I'm going to put the lead hole in here, and I'm just going to carve that out as I normally do, so that won't be any different. For those of you who are new, I just basically take a little carving tool and sit there and carve with my safety gloves. So I keep the power tools to a very small limit. I mean, I have an airbrush and I use that, but that's about it, really. So I'm going to do that. By that, I mean, this is all out. Oh, that's not good. Fire down. Okay, and so after I carved that out, I used this little file, rounded off, and that's a pretty good width. It's not focusing on it, but because I just use these little sinkers and put them in there, so that's what I have started to do here, and I'm just gonna hammer that in there about, and that can get covered over by baking soda and super glue. I can seal the whole thing, and then we're painting, and then I'm posting, not posting. Okay, now I can use some baking soda and super glue to seal that up so it doesn't fall out in the middle of casting after it's done. So I'm going to do that. And doing that requires using a very special tool / the popsicle stick that I cut the end off. This took me super long to make, and it should just last me forever. Not really, no. Okay, so I'm just starting with the sinker, and then I'm going to do that slot. And that is all. I'm done. That's just okay. Yeah. So now I have the lip here, and I am inserting it right there. And I'm just gonna drip super glue onto that as lined up as I could. Now I'm just going to drip some super glue right on top of that, and it should be stuck in there forever because this is extra fine super glue, so it really soaks in the wood. So I'm just going to coat this and saturate this entire thing in it, just like this. Yep. I believe I didn't just do that on camera, but I fully finished sealing that in, and I am going to just take my file and some sandpaper and file the baking soda and super glue down so it's nice and flush, so it's good for painting. But once this dries, we can test it, and that can be done pretty soon, so on to testing. And here we are, seeing if it swims. It sure does. I can really feel that in the rod. That time it didn't like it. Well, you saw it, so. On to painting. I'm going to do a bluegill pattern like I showed you in the beginning. Okay, so this is a complicated paint scheme. So we've got this, phthalo green up there. And then we've got this mid-green in the middle. Then we've got this yellow going into orange. Then we have black back with black outlined gills, and then blue here, which is this. Then there is, there's a base coat of white before that, but there's also pearl gold scales up there and pearl white scales down there. So, and then it's epoxy from there. So this took me a while to do, so this is also probably going to take some time. But right now I'm going to tape this lip off and make it white, very white. Okay, time to do that. Also, I wear a mask for this because there are lots of vapors. So if I sound muffled, it's because I'm wearing a mask. So this is what I sound like with the mask on. It's not that different, but just be warned. So I actually put quite a bit of time and effort into sanding that, but it still looks pretty rough. But definitely still usable. So once we get the epoxy on there, it'll be nice and smooth. I hope so. Now I am pinning down this what was it? Something green, and putting it in the airbrush now to be sprayed. And so as of now, yeah, that doesn't really look good, but I'm gonna darken this side up. There's that color. Green. Here we go, on the yellow. And there's yellow. Last on our base coat is an orange belly. Okay, and I'm going with some black and very carefully doing some bars. Very carefully. And there you go. And now I'm going to give it a black back. Going for some gold scales at the top. Need to be pretty strong. So, do that to the other side. There you go. And I sprayed the pearl white also. And now it's time for the reveal. Whoa. There we go. That's a bluegill. Okay. Now it's time for the name-giving bluegills of this fish. And I have a stencil waiting. So, time to work on those. And so for gills, you take a little stencil. This is a very simple stencil, but you just lay it down, spray right on it, move it back, spray right. Actually, you should do this one first and then do this one. Then you do that, and then you go over that black. You do black first, and then you slide it forward a little bit, then do white on both of them, and then you do a little blue for the bluegill part, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to start with this one. And here we go. First one. There's the other. That's the other side. And I am just going to work on the white part now. And so you just line it up and then move it just a tad bit forward. Okay, so here we go. Lined up, just a little bit forward. Yeah, like that. Then you do it over here. Line it up, move it forward, spray. Oops, there are those gills. Do that to the other side and we're good. Okay, and here I go adding just a smidge of blue. There's that. I'm gonna do it on the front too, actually. Gonna do this side. And I am, oh my gosh, okay. Okay, I'm doing that to the other side. And that's it. Now that I'm done with painting, somebody asked in a comment, how do I make my lure eyes? And so this is one of them not glued, just sitting on it. It's pretty creepy. But how I make them is, I think you can just use any epoxy, but I got this 30-minute epoxy. Whoa, that's way zoomed in. This 30-minute epoxy for Christmas, and I've been using this. You just make 2 little blobs, it's equal part, and then I just took a block of wood, put 2 nails on it, and then these, it's the paper pieces from a hole punch. I just take a glue stick and glue it onto there, take a toothpick and blop it on, and it automatically domes over, and then I paint them with the airbrush. And I'm thinking about actually putting that on there, even though it looks pretty scary. I have to use those anyway, so I'm probably gonna do that. And then using the same epoxy, I'm gonna do a clear coat. And that is pretty much it for this video. I might be able to go fishing with this. It warmed up a whole bunch. A lot. I don't know why I said that, but a whole bunch. I think the pond might be unfrozen, so I could take this one out for a spin maybe. We'll see. There's my lure with the eyes on there, and it looks pretty creepy now. They're like staring into your soul, but that is all for today. So I mean, I might go fishing, but time to clear coat, and then I shall be done, and we shall get a thumbnail, stuff like that. Good stuff.
pretty cold out, so I wasn't expecting one, but okay, it works. And there you have it. That was today's video. It was pretty good, and it looked pretty good too. So yeah, pretty nice.